today's topic is, when should you stop saving money? Okay. The moment you turn on velocity, that's the answer. Okay. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to blow up one of the most sacred cows in finance. Okay. There is a moment when you should stop saving money. All right. And when you think of saving money as a consumer, you're saving money and you're going to give it to a financial planner and let them do something good with it. Right. And what they teach is, you have to save a certain portion of your income, pay yourself first, all these things. But the way that they do it is what is wrong. Saving is good until it becomes a cage. Saving is wise until it becomes a hiding place. Saving is necessary until it stops advancing our mission, your mission. And we're going to talk about the shift, the owner shift from accumulation to velocity. Okay. Now, one of the things that we have to understand is that motion is a law of God. Air has to flow in and out of our bodies or we die. Blood has to flow through our bodies or we die. Water that doesn't flow is stagnant, and money that doesn't move and flow is dead too. Okay. We don't want our money dead because dead things decay, right? So ownership is some, identify yourself as the owner, not the saver, not a consumer, not a participant in someone else's plan. Okay. Owner equals I control the flow of my money. Control means you take the banking function back to the you and me level, like Nelson used to say. You direct capital. You determine opportunity. You decide the timeline. Okay. And then the third principle is stewardship. You treat your money like a tool, not a treasure. You're not hoarding it. You deploy it with purpose. You don't freeze it out of fear. That's what people do. Well, not losing any money. And the fourth principle in this is you put capital into motion. This is the destination, right? This is where wealth accelerates. Owners don't store power, they deploy power. In one of our businesses, or quite a few businesses, we do Bitcoin mining. We use a lot of natural gas that is in the ground, and it's got to go somewhere, right? It's got to flow. And when they're drilling, they create this, and they sometimes burn it off. But there's always this thing of how do we not waste it and we use it, right? So what we do is we take that, we power V12 engines that we use it to fuel 12 engines that power the miners, right? And it's all about hash rate and electricity cost. And when there's a gap in those two, where the hash rate is higher and the electricity cost is lower, we make a lot of money. Okay. All right. So it has to go somewhere. Now it could go to Wall Street. Okay. So when saving becomes hoarding, so saving is phase one, hoarding is a trap. Saving becomes hoarding when fear replaces strategy, when comfort replaces intention, when cash becomes a security blanket of fuel. Okay. Like you have to have like this security blanket. You confuse storage with progress. Like, hey, my balance is going up. Okay. What does that do for you tomorrow? Nothing. Look at your account. You start to look at your account instead of your opportunities. Hey, it's growing. You stop behaving like an owner. You start going back to being the customer. Hoarding is emotional and ownership is operational. It's a system. And just like the Navy's SEALs say, is you don't rise to your potential, you fall to your training and your preparation. Okay. And the difference is identity. If you see yourself as a saver, you'll stockpile. If you see yourself as an owner, you're going to deploy that capital. Okay. All right. So the moment you stop saving, this is the moment you stop saving and you change your thing. So when is enough enough? And that's what most people ask. When is enough enough? Do you have enough money saved? Wrong question. That's a saver thinking. Okay. Savers, you know, Robert Kiyosaki says savers are losers. The real question is, when does additional saving stop increasing my strategic advantage? Right? Now think about this. Owners shift the moment their capital is accessible, is controllable, is organized, is ready to move, has a destination, and can create velocity and leverage. So you stop saving when your warehouse is capitalized enough to take the next dollar that it's created more value in motion than storage. Okay, let me say that again because I think I kind of didn't say that right. You stop saving when your warehouse is capitalized enough that the next dollar creates more value in motion than in storage. That makes more sense, right? The way I said that is that's the ownership trigger. So that's the pivot point. The goal is not to have money, it's to use money. Just because you have it doesn't mean anything. So let's look at this saver versus owner. This is the identity battle that happens in people because of how the lies that we've been told, right? The paradigm that we had as children or people that didn't understand money. Savers seek safety, seek comfort. They delay action. They wait for perfect timing. They worship accumulation and they measure wealth by storage. What's my balance? But that's not how an owner thinks. Owners seek opportunity. They seek leverage. They make decisions. They move capital. They measure wealth by velocity. They play offense. Savers say, what if I lose money? And owners say, what can this money produce today? Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives wealth. Ownership starts with in the mind before it ever hits the policy. All right. So what is velocity? Velocity is not risk. Okay. Velocity is not speculation. It isn't gambling. Okay. These are all things that we've been taught to do in Wall Street. So I'll give you an idea of velocity or take your mortgage. And let's just say you had a $300,000 mortgage at 5%. Okay. You're going to pay about $590,000 for that mortgage over 30 years. Okay. And so the bank's going to make that amount of money. And you say, well, that's pretty good, right, Jim? Well, no, that's not good enough for the bank. Are you kidding? What they do is they take your payment. Every time you make a payment, they pull it with my payment, other people's payments, and they loan it out again. So now they take that $590,000. It's $1.3 million if they only loaned it out one more time each payment. So that means the first payment is loaned out for almost 30 years, and the last payment's only loaned out for a month. So just every payment loaned out one more time. They make over $1 million on that loan, on your loan, off of like using your money. That's creating velocity of money. So velocity equals recovered capital deployed again and again. They recover the capital and they deploy it. Your money goes out, it creates value, it comes back, and then you repeat the process. It sounds simple, right? But remember, simplicity is elusive. It's the same dollar doing multiple jobs without tax friction. And saving grows your reservoir, velocity grows your wealth. Savers think linear, and owners think exponential. That's the easiest way to say it, right? All right. So why do most people never turn on velocity? Most people, even smart people, get stuck here. Fear. Fear is the number one thing. Fear is the enemy of ownership. Fear is the enemy of wealth. Action cures fear. Learn whatever you need to learn to get rid of that fear. Identity drift. They start strong, then they slowly become savers again. Your paradigm is not set. It's going back. Or they don't have clarity, no clarity. They don't know their warehouse number or their opportunity path. They don't know where to put the money. Analysis paralysis. Okay. This is where they talk themselves out of motion. Fear manufactures excuses. Owners manufacture outcomes. Okay. So this is how owners use capital differently. Owners only deploy money in what they understand, into things they understand. Let me say that again. Owners deploy it only into things that they understand. Velocity is built on confidence, but confidence is a skill set. Owners never let money sit idle. Idle capital is a sin in the ownership world. It's got to be moving. Owners track motion, not balance. Money is most powerful when it's moving, not when it's sitting. Even, yeah, you might get lucky. You might hit the lotto. You might hit a um, a stock that goes crazy. You might have bought Nvidia. You might have bought Bitcoin in 2007. Okay, but that's gambling. Owners build systems, not stress. I don't know if any gambler, I don't care if you're a professional gambler, it's stressful. But systems, if we build systems, that creates consistency. And consistency creates velocity. Cash sitting still gets weaker. Cash in motion gets stronger. It's simple. Okay, so how are we gonna I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to answer these on your own, and I want you to figure out how we're going to solve this problem. But the first one is, are you saving or hoarding? That's a question mark. Are you saving or hoarding? Are you a saver or an owner? Is your capital sitting or moving? Is your warehouse full enough to turn on velocity? Next question. And the last question is, what's your next move as an owner, or what's your next move an owner would make with your resources? Right now, let that settle in. You weren't designed to be a saver. You were designed to be an owner. Okay. God created us with abundance. Saving is wise. Saving is necessary. We call it capitalization, but saving is not the destination. It's the launch pad. Okay. Again, saving is not the destination. It's the launch pad. This is where we save up. Now we have the resources to launch it into velocity, right? Ownership is the journey from accumulation to acceleration, from safety to stewardship, from storage to velocity. I'm trying to think of this shift in your head, right? So then when your warehouse is ready, you flip the switch. I mean, what does Nelson say? Don't be afraid to capitalize. And the final thing that I'm going to say is stop hoarding, start owning, and turn on velocity and leverage. This is what we have to do today. And everything that you've been taught about money is wrong. Everything. So when I think of this, and I think of the mistakes that I see people make with their IBC program, with their systems and their policies, and I just had somebody send me illustrations for 6 policies with other companies. They didn't work with us, and they said, "Well, I think I'm doing infinite banking, but I'm not sure." And they sent me these in for illustration. They're not, but they want to, and that's the hard part. Is people want to, but it's hard to find the person that's going to show you how to do this. Well, in this community, the community breakaway wealth community, we show people, we have people that are doing it. They're walking the walk. They're creating velocity. They're acting like owners, but you got to own your life. You walk into the doctor, Angela would back me up on this. You walk into the doctor and just take whatever pill they're going to give you. You're a customer of your life. You're a consumer of your life. You're going to get those results. You're not going to get great results. I mean, the biggest thing, like last night I went to dinner with a friend and she doesn't eat meat, right? She said that I feel like I could eat meat if I knew how it was sourced, that it was humanely sourced. I was like, man, that makes sense. Yeah. And we went to this little restaurant, right? Just grabbed a quick bite to eat. And I'm like, we have no idea where any of this food came from, right? We're eating in a restaurant, right? We're a consumer, we're a customer. And in our lives, sometimes we're customers, but the more often that we're owners, right? If we knew where that meat came from, and we knew where those vegetables came from, and we knew where that pita bread came from, then, and how it was made, then you're like, okay, I know everything in here is good. right? It's not full of chemicals. It's not whatever. Now, the opposite of that is the ultimate consumer food is McDonald's. There's 55 ingredients in a McDonald's milkshake. Now, I'm pretty sure that ice cream should have 3 ingredients, but 55. So what's the 55? Taste and texture, right? Like they need it to be creamy. So there's crap in there that you can't even pronounce, or at least I can't pronounce. And you ever notice there's always gum, something gum in there. And they're basically in a McDonald's chicken nugget is butane. You're eating butane when you have a chicken nugget. Forget about the sauce. I'm not even talking about the sauce. I'm just talking about the chicken nugget. No, I'm kind of hungry this morning, right? I'm recording this morning, but I know what I'm not going to eat. I got real eggs from a farm that my doctor's chickens lay, right? I know it comes from the chicken to the carton. That's the only thing in there is an egg. And I can eat that and be happy because I know what I'm putting in my body. Because I don't want to be like a consumer and go, I was eating that the whole time and that's what got me sick. I don't want to do that. Right. So whether we're talking about your health or we're talking about your wealth, what's convenient is never the right path. And I'm going to end it with that. So thank you all for being here. That's straightforward, hopefully great information. And I appreciate you all listening and Godspeed. Thank you.